Good morning, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Google+. This is Rich again, back for your first video blog of the day for Friday, July 22nd, 2016, around 7:13 in the morning in Billerica, Massachusetts. Going to be a hot and humid day, highs in the 90s. Get the suntan lotion on and drink plenty of water, and do not leave your pets inside your car for any length of period of time during this humid weather. Start of a heat wave which could last to Tuesday. Some news to report: the Boston Red Sox crushed the Minnesota Twins by the score of 13-2 last night. Lowell Spinners crushed Mahogany Valley by the score of 13-1. The Toronto Maple Leafs signed the number 1 draft pick of the NHL this season, Austin Matthews, to an entry-level deal, 3 years. And the last VCRs are going to be made this month. After that, no more VCRs being made. I didn't know they still made VCRs, even though VCRs had been obsolete basically for the past 15 years. I thought they stopped making production of them years ago. I still have a VCR. It's a combo of DVD, but all my VHS tapes are gone. And Catherine Parada of Fox 25 News is going to have her first child approximately December 2nd. So congratulations to Catherine Parada and her husband. And that's about it on the news. My first video blog subject of the day is the top 10 greatest sports athletes in the history of Toronto sports. This list is mostly comprised of Toronto Maple Leafs players, but there's a few Raptors players and a few Blue Jays players on this list. And here they are, number 10 on this list of the greatest Toronto sports athletes of all time: George Bell. George Bell played for the Toronto Blue Jays for about 10 years. He was a 1987 most valuable player in the American League. Great outfielder. Hit 47 home runs in 1987. Number 9 on this list of the greatest Toronto sports athletes of all time: George Armstrong. George Armstrong played for the Maple Leafs back in the 50s and 60s. He was the captain of the Maple Leafs the last time they won the Stanley Cup back in 1967. Hockey Hall of Famer. Number 8 on this list of the greatest Toronto sports stars of all time: Rick Vaive. Rick Vaive played many years for the Toronto Maple Leafs. He was the first Maple Leaf player to score 50 goals in a season back in 1982. That's a long time ago. Number 7 on this list of the greatest sports stars in Toronto sports history: Chris Bosh. Chris Bosh played for the Raptors for the first 7 years of his career, was an all-star there. Then he went to Miami, and the rest is history. Number 6 on this list of the greatest Toronto sports stars of all time: Dave Steve. Dave Steve was a pitcher for the Blue Jays for many years, a great starter. He lost a couple of perfect games in the 9th inning, but he got his no-hitter in 1990, probably one of the greatest pitchers in Blue Jays history. Number 5 on this list of the greatest sports stars in Toronto sports history: Matt Sundin, the longest reigning captain in Maple Leafs history. He was captain for the Maple Leafs for over 10 years, holds the record for most goals, most points by Maple Leafs. He never played in the Stanley Cup for the Maple Leafs, but he made a couple of conference finals. His number's honored by the Maple Leafs, and he's a Hockey Hall of Famer. Number 4 on this list of the greatest sports stars in Toronto sports history: Vince Carter, or Vinsanity. Vince played for the Toronto Raptors for about 6 years. He was the first big-name player in Raptors history. He had amazing dunks, and he was a perennial all-star. And I hope when he retires, number 15's hanging from the rafters from Air Canada Centre. Number 3 on this list of the greatest sports stars in Toronto sports history, Joe Carter, outfielder of the Toronto Blue Jays. Joe Carter was a great all-star. He's known for hitting a home run in Game 6 of the 1993 World Series that had the Blue Jays won back-to-back championships, and Tom Cheek, the longtime Blue Jays announcer, says, "Touch 'em all, Joe. You'll never hit a home run like that." That was the second and final home run to end a World Series game to date. Number 2 on this list of the greatest sports stars in Toronto sports history, Johnny Bower. Johnny Bower was a longtime goaltender for the Toronto Maple Leafs. He didn't make it to the NHL until almost 30 years old, but when he did, he was very, very great. He was a goaltender for the last Maple Leafs team in 1967. He and Terry Shawchuk shared duties. And number 1 on this list of the greatest sports stars in Toronto sports history, Dowell. Dowell was a long-time Toronto Maple Leafs player. He scored 10 points in a game. That's the most points in an NHL game back in 1976. It happened against the Boston Bruins, and his number 27 is honored by the Toronto Maple Leafs, and he's a Hockey Hall of Famer. And that's about it on that. Later on today, 2 more video blogs coming your way. First video blog will be about baseball card collecting, and the last video blog will be about WWE Hall of Famer, the late great Gorilla Monsoon. Will you be serious? Stick a fork in him, he's done. The irresistible force meeting the immovable objects. They're literally hanging from the rafters at some of Gorilla Monsoon's famous quotes. Keep calm, everybody. I'm a Julie Wedding guy. Molly Roosevelt, WCCOX, and has nice legs. Elizabeth Hutz, so stunning, she's the best. Amy Squeezy is awesome. Linda Church is such a cool girl, and she's got nice legs. Barbara Gibbs of ABC 11 has a sweet southern accent. Don Mitchell of Fox 9 and Minneapolis, St. Paul is the best. And in the words of Sean Lucci, get out. See you later.